The Jewish people are about to leave Egypt and leave slavery behind them. And they were told, they were given a commandment by God that before they leave, they have to slaughter a lamb. That was the Paschal offering. And the second thing is they have to be circumcised. And the Midrash tells us that the reason why God gave these two commandments specifically at that time was that the Jewish people were naked. That means they didn't have any real virtues that would give them the ability to be freed. It's not just a question of that God says, I'll only free you if you do something for me, so I'll do something for you, a quid pro quo. But to be liberated, you have to have the ability to withstand the pressures of freedom. Freedom is no less of a threat to our existence as slavery if we don't use freedom the right way. So if the people would have just been liberated from Egypt and they had no virtues, no real redeeming qualities, then their freedom would have actually been short-lived and they would have been forced back into slavery of one form or another. So what were they given? They were given two mitzvahs, two commandments, the Paschal offering and circumcision. Why these two and why two? Why not one? What was the need to have two? And if two, why not three or four? So the Rabbi explains that the Jewish people needed to have a two-pronged approach. They needed to show that they had some positive actions. It's not enough for a person to be passive and therefore do nothing wrong. Doing nothing wrong doesn't justify our existence and certainly not our freedom. We have to do something right and take the risks for doing something right. Where do they take a risk to do something right when they were circumcised? Circumcision is the ultimate example of dedication to God in a way that it's imprinted on your very body. It becomes part and parcel of who you are. And, of course, circumcision has certain risks to it. It's a surgical procedure, especially if we're talking about adults. So the Jewish people were willing to devote themselves to perform a positive act to show their commitment to God. But that wasn't enough because they also had to get rid of their negatives. So here's where they brought the Paschal offering. The Paschal offering was a lamb. The lamb was one of the idols of Egypt, and we are told that the Jewish people degenerated into idol worship. So they had to take the lamb that they previously worshipped, living in an environment of Egyptians, their overlords, who worshiped this lamb, and they performed the sacrifice in the sense that they could have been harmed by the Egyptians, to repudiate their attachment to idolatry. That made them complete. They had the positive reinforcement of circumcision, and they had the ability to destroy and repudiate the negative, and that made them worthy of the redemption. Our own redemption depends also on us doing mitzvahs, and we should try to use this two-prong approach by devoting ourselves in a positive way, by doing one more physical act, another mitzvah, and also suppressing the evil inclinations, desires that pull us away from Hashem, from God. And the two-pronged approach is the one that will ultimately lead us to the final redemption.